There are men who live a donated life to God. They carry a very costly fragrance in the presence of Jehovah. May your life carry fragrance. That was how the life of Cornelius was a donated life. Almsgiving, constant prayers, fasting, a donated life. He pulled an angel out from heaven. Him and his whole family was ushered into the next move of God on the earth in that generation. A donated life. That was the life of our King. Nobody lived a life like Jesus. Left it all and came to the lowest level. Poured out his life. He lived to die. He laid it all down to win humanity back to God. What is needed now is not more Christians, it's more donated vessels. Satan has them many. I had one man preach in my ministry back there in Nigeria, Blessed Usman. He shared the story how he slept in 666 different graveyards in 666 locations in all the 6 continents of the world, minus Antarctica. What was he looking for? He needed power to take out Reinhard Bonnke and Jimmy Swaggart. And for him to carry that power to take out those 2 vessels, he has to sleep in 666 graveyards. Sir, can you leave your bed for one night and sleep on the floor for God? But there are people in darkness, they can sleep in graveyards for 2 years. They don't sleep on their bed. What I'm sharing with you today, I ministered it some years ago in the church of Dr. Mohan in India. Dr. Mohan, in those days, he was the general superintendent of the Assemblies of God worldwide and also the general superintendent of India. He pastors a church of 40,000. And I've been privileged to preach in his church on at least 4 or 5 occasions. He's my friend. He likes to call me around from time to time. And Dr. Mohan invited me for their local church missions convention. And when I landed in his local church missions convention, I was shocked to see about 500 missionaries from all over the world in his church for that convention. And I asked him, is this a general council convention for the whole Assemblies of God? He said, no, this is just his local church. That all these missionaries you are seeing here, these 500 missionaries, it is his church who sponsors them to the ends of the earth. That many of them, you see them in Afghanistan, Pakistan, Tibet, Himalayas, mountains. They are sent out into the regions where they are literally laying down their lives. Before we send them out, they have agreed with their wives and children, if need be, to die for Christ. And I ministered for, I think, 4 days, 5 days in that convention, and I was asking myself a question: am I the one speaking to them, or are they the ones speaking to me? And on the last day when I delivered this particular message, Dr. Mohan stood up and said, it's like you understand what we do here. The donated life, the power of a donated life. He stood up and took the microphone and said, Parents who are ready to donate your children for missions, for the work of the kingdom, come and drop them in the altar. I have witnessed it in 1 or 2 places where women have dropped their babies in the offering tray. I have witnessed that. But what I saw in India, I've never seen that. I saw more than 8, 9 mothers with their fathers, with babies, dropping them on the altar, with tears in their eyes because they will never see those children again. Those children are donated unto God. The church will now begin to train those children as missionaries. And when they get of age, they send them into interior areas. And I said, my God, what a lesson. What a challenge. And so God said to Abraham, carry your son, your last card, Isaac, the one whom you love, and come and donate him. You may not understand that except you go to the chapter before. Isaac was not the first one he gave to God. The first one he gave was Ishmael. That's Genesis 21. In Genesis 21, God said to Abraham, listen to your wife and carry Ishmael and send him away. Do you know what it means to have a child, which to Abraham, that was for many years his only child? A child he has so bonded with as a father to the only son. And God telling you to carry that your child Ishmael and send him away. And let me tell you, Abraham never saw Ishmael again. There's no record of Abraham ever meeting with Ishmael again. The pains of having to let go of Ishmael and to turn your back on that child, never to see him again. As if that one is not enough. That is just Genesis 21. And now God comes again in Genesis 22 and says, yes, you did that one. Can you do this one also? Carry your only son Isaac, the one whom you love. This one is not to send him away, it's to sacrifice him as a burnt sacrifice. My God. And Abraham, no question, no answer, no arguments. First thing in the morning, he has moved, carried that child to sacrifice him. And as he took the knife, the heavens of heavens tore open. And an angel spoke forth, Abraham, Abraham, now I know that you love me. With blessing, I will bless you. With multiplication, I will multiply you. There is a glory that comes on a donated vessel. There is a dimension. You cannot have open heavens, sir. You can't have open heavens until you have gone to the place of total selling out to God. And that's how Hannah, you have labored for years to have your only child upon all the abuse from Penina. And now you carry your only child and donate him in the altar. You drop him in the offering tray and walk away. Hi! And heaven tore open. Heaven had a council meeting. What can we do for this woman who have donated her only child after all these years? The Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost, they said, let's release 3 mantles. The child she has rejected and given to us. Let's release 3 mantles on that child. The mantle of the high priest. Go and read 1 Samuel chapter 1 verse 1. Samuel comes from the tribe of Ephraim. His father was an Ephraimite. You will never see anywhere that a high priest comes from a tribe outside of Levi. But for the first time, protocol was broken by heaven. God picked the disqualified and qualified the disqualified and unqualified the qualified, Hophni and Phinehas. Because a woman has gone to the place of total selling out to God. And the mantle of the highest office. That was when Israel doesn't have a king. There was no higher office in the nation than the office of the high priest. As if that is not enough, release another mantle. The mantle of the prophet of Israel. The voice of the nation. As if that is not enough, a third mantle. The chief judge of the federation. Makai Labu Shaprantaya. And none of the words of Samuel ever fell to the ground. Nobody could see his break light. There was nobody to compare with Samuel in the entire nation. The power of a donated life. So don't allow your Christianity to be ordinary. Don't allow your Christianity to be on the surface. Go all the way. Go all the way. And here is God telling us, I beseech you, I'm pleading with you, I am begging you. This is God on his knees begging you to present yourself as a living sacrifice. Donate your life on the altar. I will just touch a few of the men and women who donated their lives. These were the people who, when we talk about our fathers of the faith, these are the ones who raised those our fathers of the faith. Charles Spurgeon, he's known as the Prince of the Preachers. He was also donated by his mother to God. Charles Spurgeon, when his mother gave birth to him, she prayed one special prayer and said, Father, literally her words were, I donate this one to you. Anyhow you want to use him, I no more recognize him as my child. He's your vessel to use him as you want to use. And the husband listened to the wife and said, I agree. We release him to you. A donated vessel. Charles Spurgeon, he's known as the boy preacher. He started preaching from the age of 9. A donated vessel. God took over his voice. By the age of 14, he was pulling crowds everywhere. By the age of 16, he pastored his first church of 400 members. Do you know what it means to be in a church and the pastor is a 16-year-old child? 400 members. Charles Spurgeon, donated by the mother. At the age of 17, he was pulling crowds of 10,000 in central London. At the age of 21, he filled what is called Crystal Palace. Today they have a Premier League football team called Crystal Palace. That's the stadium he filled. 25,000 people filled the stadium at the age of 21. Charles Haddon Spurgeon. At the age of 27, he built the Metropolitan Tabernacle, the largest mega church in Europe. Up till today, no pastor has built a church in the whole of Europe as Charles Spurgeon, who lived 100 years ago. He built a church that can seat 6,000 and he was running 3 shifts every Sunday. Show me any pastor in London that can carry 18,000. But there was a pastor in London who once pulled 18,000 crowd, including the royal family from Buckingham Palace, including the Prime Minister, and all the houses of Parliament will come and sit down under the ministry of Charles Haddon Spurgeon. A very special instrument. A wonderful tool and vessel in the hands of God. The front newspaper of the Daily Mail was always covering his Sunday messages. That's how popular he was. He was more popular than politics. He used to sell his message, every message he preaches on Sunday morning, for 1 penny. And used to sell between 25,000 to 250,000 copies every week. That made him a multi-millionaire. What does he do with his millions? That's what he used to build the Metropolitan Tabernacle, a church that took 3.6 million pounds, and half of the money was from his pockets. He built a Bible college and sponsored students in that Bible college free of charge. Trained thousands of pastors free of charge. Those pastors he trained in the Bible college opened 53 churches in central London, sponsored from his own pockets. He built 17 houses for widows. Had a ministry to the prostitutes, had a ministry to the police. A young man that affected his generation. Oh God! If a young man like that could affect his generation, I cannot go like a shadow through my generation. Up till today, United Kingdom has never produced such a preacher. He wasn't ordinary. His parents donated him.